I'm Dean, I'm the dad.
I'm Laura, I'm the mom.
And I'm Kristlyn, I'm the daughter.
And together we are...
Family Plot!
Yay!
Where were you?
He was trying to let us have a part since he took the other part. He's trying new things.
Actually, I just kind of missed it because I was watching the...
Sound waves.
Yeah, because...
You didn't have to admit that. Yeah, I was giving you, making you sound so smart, and you just... Nope.
Because I would rather it be the truth. I have had issues with the truth in my life, and these days, I'm trying to live in nothing but the truth.
He learned it from me. No,
So,
that was a joke. That was a joke. I'm sorry.
Alrighty, though. But, it's still a good start as far as I'm concerned. A couple of things real quick out of the gate. One, if you want to support us, you can do that through Patreon. There's 3 different teams. There's Team Podcast, Team Bunny, Team Spade. It amounts 1, 3, 5, and I believe 10 is our highest. If you want to do a monthly donation, that's the way to go. If you're worried about it because you sell cars or something else where you might have to take a draw one week and you don't want to commit to a monthly donation, you can pause Patreon, or you can just do a monthly donation of Buy Me a Coffee. Also,
Please support the bunny. Please support Team Bunny, because this bunny eats a lot.
yes.
She has a double bunny chin.
She is a
bunny run.
She is a chubby bunny.
I'm trying, okay? I'm trying.
Okay.
Oh, she's happy. I'm not worried. She's
happy, bunny. Just saying.
okay.
Just start running more often. Also, I got the cards joke. I got that joke. Cards, draw a card.
Yeah, we got it. Yes.
No. Cars.
I know what, but I like that she's thinking in
car salesman. If they don't sell a car one week, they have to take what's called a draw.
No, but it's funny if a card salesman has to take a draw one week.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear car. I thought you said
so
cards.
With her. I'm so pleased with her.
Cards salesman.
I'm not, because that means neither one of you are listening to me, and that's...
No, I was listening to you. I just heard you wrong. Don't be mean to me. I'm gonna cry. You're gonna make me cry.
Sorry. Well, let's get back to the intro. Remember, if you're a new listener, welcome. If you're an old listener, welcome back. If you are a new listener, just let you know how we feel here at the show. If you enjoy the show, please share us on your social media. Let your friends know. If you don't enjoy the show, we ask you to keep that to yourself. Okay, that being said, tonight we return to Missouri. Not very far at all from where we live, in fact. The small town of Lexington, a place where the Civil War was fought, and a place fraught with the subtle weight of the unquiet dead. Tonight, we discuss the history and hauntings in Lexington, Missouri. I put lots of exclamation points on the end of that. I don't know if I pronounced it properly to show that. Also, I just realized that there is a typo in it. It's Lexington, Missouri.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't say anything.
Which, idiot. But that's okay. Before we get into this, Krysta has some weird facts.
Hello.
Hi, Krysta.
Hi. Okay, so we're back with facts. And
We are.
Krista's weird facts in this case. And this time we've got a little different, something a little bit different. Just a little bit. Today we have not something that is similar, or it's similar, but not something that is directly connected to the story. And it doesn't really directly connect with the things that Dad is going to say, so I figured, why not? You said undead, we might more add undead characters.
Fair enough.
This time we are going to talk about zombies.
Ooh,
Now,
zombies.
you may be wondering, how do you find facts about something that's not real? Well, it's called the internet. Apparently they have stuff that is about things that are not real. The crazy thing called the internet. Probably where you listen to this podcast. I don't know.
Maybe.
Could be.
Probably.
The interwebs are a thing.
That's weird.
That is for sure.
In all seriousness, let's dig deep into these facts.
As Darkwing Duck would say, let's dig deep.
Did you like that turn of phrase, though? Fraught with the weight of the unquiet dead?
Yes, very much.
Yes. Let's dig deep in this zombie grave and get them out.
Okay. Take it away, Krysta.
So, today's facts are on the website called thefactsite.com. Don't forget to check Becca Marsh out. She's the one who made this, Becca Marsh. Thank you.
Thank you, Becca Marsh.
Thank you, Becca.
Becca, you are cool. You are fantastic. Don't forget to bring on that deadly smile. Okay. The ancient Greeks were some of the first to fear zombies. The fear of undead has been around for hundreds of years and is evident in many forms. One of the first civilizations thought to fear zombies was the ancient Greeks. Cool. This is seen through their burials, and archaeologists have found evidence in ancient Greek graves. I'm doing good.
You're doing great.
Rocks or weighty objects pinned down many of the skeletons found in these graves. It's thought that this was to stop the dead from rising. Imagine you wake up from a long sleep. You got a brick on your head.
Yeah, that would definitely
So
be
it's
annoying.
So it's generally believed that ancient Greeks were some of the first to fear the dead rising.
Well, bodies do all sorts of weird things after they die. They can twitch. They can have flatulence. They can void their bladder and bowels. So to someone witnessing that, it seems like there is still some life left. And for...
Kind of like a snake that just got its head off.
Yeah. So, to people that don't have good medical knowledge, which is sort of a slight against the Greeks, and it's not meant to be, but people who don't have great medical knowledge, they're looking for explanations.
Sorry, had to go on. Fact number 2. World Zombie Day is on October 13th. Did you know that there was a World Zombie Day?
I did not know there was a World Zombie Day.
Hope there's a World Werewolf Day. Just put on freaking Werewolf Day. That'd be funny. Anyway, for all the zombie fanatics, there is a World Zombie Day. This international event started on October 13th, 2006, when a group of enthusiasts created a zombie walk in Pittsburgh, California, where Dawn of the Dead was filmed.
Oh.
This event has become celebrated worldwide and is often held on the weekend closest to October 13th.
Cool.
The zombie flash mob.
Sure.
Okay, there was a phenomenon a few years back, and they may still do it. You only ever really heard about it when old people did it, but there was this thing called flash mobs. And basically what it was is people would text each other, hey, get together at the park. And everybody would go to the park. And suddenly you'd have this giant convergence of people in the park. And everybody thought, ooh. And then flash mobs started doing stuff like country dancing or singing songs or whatever. And yeah, they'd show up, they'd do this, they'd go away. And people thought it was cool. And then...
like that one Michael Jackson music video.
Right. And then the zombie flash mob was people getting together, dressing as zombies, and strolling through a park or a city street or something. And yeah, the zombie flash mob.
So it's kind of like that whole freaking clown thing that went on a little while ago.
Yeah, sort of.
Where clowns were just freaking everywhere, standing on the side of the road. People just dressed up in clown outfits and freaking scared kids. Anyway.
Darn clowns.
Darn clowns.
I'd rather fight a zombie than clowns.
I don't know, killer clowns, maybe a zombie. Probably a zombie.
The only thing worse
Depends
is...
on how hard the zombie is to kill.
The only thing worse is zombie clowns. Just, ugh.
Oh, God, no.
Why would you do that?
I'm leaving. I'm exiting the percent. I'm exiting the percent. I'm done. I'm just gonna continue with my fact. I'm done.
Okay.
He is exiting the premises.
Yes, thank you. I am exiting the premises. Gosh. Fact number 3. There is only one way to kill a zombie. Now we're gonna learn how to kill a zombie. Got it?
Okay.
Although there has not yet been a zombie apocalypse, people have ideas how to kill a zombie, based on fiction, theories, and stories created by zombie enthusiasts. It's thought that there is only one way to kill a zombie. You probably heard already, but you must destroy its brain. A zombie can survive any form of attack or damage to its body, except for its brain. The best way to kill a zombie is to behead it or destroy the brain in any way possible. This will stop control of the body and consequently will die. It will die.
There you go.
That's so funny that's become the thing, because in voodoo culture, the way you kill a zombie is you cut off its head, fill its mouth with salt, sew the lips together, and then bury it.
Delightful.
I guess killing voodoo zombies is a lot harder than killing movie zombies. Of course, you can probably kill tons of movie zombies by just yelling, cut!
Anyway, fact number 4. Can you believe that we're already this far down?
No,
Yeah.
I can't.
Mom said yes, you said no. There are totally different answers there. Okay. Fact number 4. The first American zombie film was released in 1932. White Zombie was one of the first zombie horror films to be produced. The story showed a woman poisoned by her lover and brought back from the dead to become a zombie. It was based on the novel The Magic Island, written by William Seabrook.
Wow.
White Zombie is also the movie that the band White Zombie took its name from. Rob Zombie was a fan. It also starred Bela Lugosi, who played Dracula, famously for Universal. In fact, when Universal has its movie monsters, it's usually Bela's image they still use. But yeah.
Now, I'm so sorry, but what is HAITI?
Haiti. It's a country.
In Haiti, there was a law making it illegal to turn someone into a zombie. Now, here's my thing on this one. Before we even get started, I don't think the zombies care. I don't think they care.
You may be right.
They don't care. They're not going to listen to your laws. I'm sorry.
Well, you have to understand that zombies are kind of a real thing. Yeah. Okay. Let me
Stop.
No, let me explain.
No,
Let me
stop.
explain. Let
Stop.
me explain, Krysta.
I don't want this explained.
I will explain. Let me explain. Okay? In cultures where voodoo is
Okay,
believed.
that's my next thing right here. So just leave it. Leave it. Drop
All right. All right.
Drop
all
the
right.
bone, dog.
All right.
Good mom.
Yep.
Throughout
Haitian.
culture, it has been common for voodoo
Shamans?
shamans to turn the dead into zombies.
What is that?
No. I don't like it. It was thought that there were two parts of the soul, one that controlled bodily functions, and the other that controls emotions. By removing these, you are left with a lifeless human who can be used as a slave. If you were the keeper of their spirit or soul, then you controlled the zombie. It is said that using a special concoction or poison can do this to a person, and the act of turning someone into a zombie in Haiti.
Yeah, Haiti. You're right.
Haiti is now legal. Article 249 prohibits this and will prosecute anyone caught turning someone into a zombie with murder.
Good.
Although technically it's not, but yeah, you might as well call it that, because Hoongans, which is the name for zombie sorcerers, the Hoongan. I might be mispronouncing that. But Hoongans would take humans and feed them a concoction that would kill them. Now, I've heard that one of the ingredients is tetrodotoxin, but I could have got that from movies. But basically, among this concoction is it basically puts people into a coma, is what it does. They bury this comatose person for a while, and then a few days later, they dig up comatose person, like 48 hours or something, just long enough that they don't die of thirst. And so when the zombie gets up, now mind you, anybody that's done this to is a believer. Whereas you and I would be like, why'd you do this? You're a leave me alone.
Dad!
I'm sorry.
PG-13.
I know, I'll beep it. Anyway,
Don't believe it.
point is, to someone who believes, they realize, oh, I'm a zombie. In fact, years ago, they interviewed a zombie, but they're not really dead is the point, is they've just been poisoned and let live, and so they just sort of believe they're zombies. It's wild. But it's not a good situation because it's basically slavery. You're using someone's beliefs to enslave them. It's still bad. Did I screw up anything, Krysta?
No.
Okay. Did I talk about something that you were going to talk about?
No, because I'm done with that.
Oh.
I get back.
Oh, I'm sorry. There we go. Yay. Yay. Those were some cool facts. Those were some very cool facts. We don't really get to talk about zombies, but, zombies are cool. I like zombies. So, let's talk about Lexington, but first we got to talk about its history. Now, it was platted in 1822. It was in the bluffs overlooking the Missouri River and was near the site of William Jack's Ferry, which had been established 3 years earlier. John All, and that name is spelled Aull, opened a mercantile and was soon joined by his brothers, who opened a chain of stores, the All Brothers. They also had locations in Westport, Liberty, and Independence. In the 1830s and 40s, it was quite prosperous. So it was like the Woolworths of its day.
Stay out of the Woolworths.
Something. Now, in 1861, the city was the site of the Battle of the Hemp Bales, also known as the First Battle of Lexington. Major General Sterling Price of the Missouri State Guard led them to surround Union troops located at the Masonic State College. This led to a near rout of the federal forces there.
Cool.
In 1864, Price once more headed into Missouri, hoping to draw Union troops and affect the outcome of the 1864 election. However, it didn't work, as 2,000 troops from Kansas encountered the larger force, resisting it strongly and chewing through the Confederate troops. Once it gathered intelligence on the size and strength of the opposing forces, the Kansas troops withdrew, taking the intelligence with them. Price eventually brought his wounded troops to Westport, where they were routed in that battle. It is also important to note that at one time, Lexington was home to no less than 3 women's colleges: the Elizabeth All Seminary, the Lexington Ladies College, and the Central College for Women. From 1880 to 2017, Lexington was also home to the Wentworth Military Academy that drew students from all over the world. Also, an interesting side note, Quantrill's raiders made regular raids in Lexington, and many of the guerrilla fighters decided to take advantage of the federal government's offer of a pardon if they turned themselves in. A group of them, riding into town under a white flag, were then fired upon.
Wow, that wasn't very nice.
No, not at all. Some were killed, many were injured, including Jesse James, who took a bullet to the right lung. A short year later, James and his gang hit the Alexander Mitchell Bank in Lexington for what was only the second daylight robbery in the history of the United States. So it's safe to say Jesse James might have had a little bit of gall over that. He might have been a little upset. And there might have been some vengeance in that robbery there. Just a touch. Just a little. Now, before we get too much deeper into any of this, I want to take some time. One, we're going to have a promo from a podcast called Invasion of the Remake. They do movie reviews, and it's an amazing podcast. So we're going to have their promo, and then we're going to hear a word from our sponsors. So, take it away, Invasion of the Remake.
War continues to rage across the globe. Our valiant men and women have been winning battles as the war continues to march on. Hollywood continues to produce clone after clone of the films you used to enjoy. There have been some defectors, but most remakes continue to assault your sensibilities. Our small troop of trained experts continue to expose these imposters while showing Hollywood a better way. Support the Invasion of the Remake by listening, reviewing, and subscribing. Your knowledge is power. We're all in this together. Spread the word.
Subscribe to Invasion of the Remake on all major podcast providers. New episodes dropping weekly
at invasionoftheremake.wixsite.com/podcast.
Hon, how do you feel?
I feel sponsored.
There we go. So now we also have to talk about the McPhila Cemetery. It was established by an act of the Missouri General Assembly. Now, the McPhila Cemetery is a historic cemetery. It is located in Lexington. And in fact, the McPhila Cemetery is one of Missouri's oldest corporations in continuous existence. Among those buried here are victims of the 1852 Saluda steamboat explosion, one of the founders of the Pony Express, William Waddell, and Civil War soldiers killed in the 1861 Battle of Lexington. Fascinating funerary monuments and ironwork from a local foundry are evident throughout the cemetery. The McPhila Cemetery was originally known as the Waddell Family Cemetery. The first burial there was in 1839. In 1849, William Bradford Waddell donated his family's cemetery, along with other nearby land, to form the McPhila Cemetery. During the Civil War, many soldiers from both sides of the Battle of Lexington were buried at McPhila. There's also a special memorial to the victims of the Saluda steamboat explosion of April 9th, 1852, which carried Mormon immigrants from England and Wales who were traveling to Utah. Some of the bodies from that disaster are buried in a mass grave at the cemetery. And and some other noted citizens buried at McPhila are Stephen Wentworth, founder of the Wentworth Military Academy, Ike Skelton, representative to U.S. Congress and chairman of the Armed Services Committee. That was late 1900s, like almost 60 to 1974, something like that. And of course, as we said, William Waddell, one of the founders of the Pony Express. Also buried there is Gilead Roop, the first settler of the area. Now, something I don't talk about much was I am adopted. My last name, Bose, is my adopted father's last name. The parent I was born to was Ronald Dean Roop. So there, and according to Ancestry, I am connected on that side to Gilead Roop. Now, that being said, Ancestry is one of those sites that becomes polluted by how people use it, because, like, I know that some people, like, will have two people that might be in their family and they'll just add both of them, and which sort of pollutes your tree because one of them ain't right, you know?
Yeah.
And so I don't know how true that is, but it was interesting to find out in the research. I'm not gonna like hold on to that, and in fact, I'm kind of cut off from that end of my family. So it was just an interesting thing to learn. Anyway, so that is the area that we're talking about. Now, I've been there, but I didn't hang out, and I kind of wish I had, because it sounds like there's a lot of architecture there that is still roughly Civil War-ish. Right, Krysta?
Yeah.
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 I love you, Krysta.
I love you too.
So, yeah, that's the basic facts.
All right.
That's the basis. Now, so that brings us to the hauntings.
Okay.
Now, possibly due to the battles fought here, there are many hauntings within the town itself. The former Wentworth Military Academy sees both spectral Union and Confederate soldiers walk its halls. Further, many homes throughout the area find themselves hosting full-bodied apparitions and shadow people. Inmates at the local jail complain of ghosts. In fact, on more than one occasion, officers that work the jail have turned down a hallway to see a Confederate or a Union soldier walking down the hallway that will just vanish. Also, people claim to have seen ghostly battles playing out at the Battle of Lexington historic site. The Oliver Anderson House is also home to specters, orbs, EVPs, and shadow people. Now, I looked up the orbs, and the thing is, I couldn't find out if they're orbs that are in photos or orbs seen with the naked eye. If they're orbs in photos, then I'm not impressed. If they're orbs people are seeing, we can talk. So, Lexington is, as the guy who created our theme music, Bill Barrett, says, full of ghosties, full of them.
Oh, right.
And like Fort Osage, because of the way like things get built on top of other things, a lot of people will see ghosts in their homes, and that home wasn't there when the ghost passed. But it's like the ghost in Gettysburg that like people pulled up and see it, and they'll ask it like questions, and they think he's a guy dressed up in Civil War gear, and then the ghost will just vanish. And people see that sort of stuff all the time in Lexington, which is kind of cool.
You.
And Lexington is part of the greater Kansas City metropolitan area, or at least it's considered as such, which is weird to me because it's like 40 miles out. But so, yeah, unfortunately, what I don't have is anybody saying, oh, well, you see General Sterling Price. Major General Sterling Price is regularly seen at this location. Yet there's no story to go with the ghost. It's just Civil War ghosts and shadow people. And that's not surprising because there was not one but two combats here. You had the Battle of the Hemp Bales, which was basically a rout of the Union forces that were in the area at that time. And then a few short years later, you have General Sterling Price leading troops to Missouri because he wants to affect the outcome of the 1864 election, hoping that someone that is sympathetic to the Confederate cause will get elected to the Northern White House, and then maybe just like let the Confederate nation go and let them be Confederates on their own, which wouldn't have worked too well because by that point the Confederate money was just a joke. Like if you took a Confederate dollar to a baker to buy a piece of bread, he would hold the dollar up to the bread and cut you a piece that thick. And that was it. That's what you got. Because the money was essentially worthless.
This?
Yeah.
With this or this? Flat or
like flat, like the thickness of the Confederate dollar, because it basically was not even really worth the money it was printed on at the time.
Yeah, well, yeah, that pretty much. That really is what we have. I don't have a lot of specific stories or specific hauntings. That information just isn't out. Now, if you go to visit the websites and whatnot, it will say it's haunted, but it doesn't give you much more information. So I don't have a lot of examples. And while I scoured through travel sites trying to find people who had been on the tours saying, oh, the most I got was we saw ghosts. Cool. Details. I need details. So
we saw ghosts. Where?
There were ghosts.
Where?
Spooky ghosts.
Oh wow, they're so spooky. But where are they?
So let's go to our summary and our final thoughts. I'll start with you, Krysta.
I mean, at this point, I feel it's a given. War and a bunch of different things in the same place. There's obviously going to be spirits.
Right.
I mean,
go ahead.
no, what were you going to say?
I was just saying it's the same kind of thing we had in Gettysburg, where the Civil War was horrific. We had, as people, learned how to do really awful things to one another with science. Mm-hmm. But the medical end of science had not caught up with that. And so amputations were common. you could get really hurt in a myriad of ways.
Oh, yes.
And just, I mean, field hospitals in the Civil War were nightmarish because they just really didn't have much they could do for you. A lot of times, they were so out of equipment, it was, here, have a slug of this whiskey, now we're going to cut your hand off. And, and if you were lucky, you didn't pass out while it happened. So I agree. It's kind of a given. I mean, it was a horrible time. It was a horrible war. Plus, it was, brother against brother. If in the same family, if someone supported...
Did you still have to fight even after you got your other hand cut off?
Not usually. Although there were some who wanted to because they believed in slavery or didn't believe in it. What about you, hon? Your thoughts?
I mean, this story was kind of my idea. I just from the experience of being in the area, I spent some time out there in my younger adult years, and the history is definitely there. The feeling is definitely there that there are, at the very least, like those repeating historical...
The stone tape theory, that you can see...
If nothing else, you have that because of the people that were there, and they were, it was... Missouri, I'm sure, for settlers and stuff, it's hard on us now with everything that we have. I have absolutely no doubt that when those things were happening down by the Missouri River, there are, mosquitoes and illness, and I'm sure that there were plenty of things that made it very difficult for soldiers fighting, and so I have no doubt that there are things that still reside in that area.
Yeah, and I guess I'm with you there just because, like I said, it was a bad war and people got hurt, and that sort of thing tends to stick around. You got enough blood soaking the soil, that'll get you some haunting.
Yep.
And there's definitely blood in Lexington soil.
And also, just anything, like any ghost or any person that used to have as much connection to a certain place as these people did, it's also kind of given in that way, because if you're really connected to somewhere or someplace, and you would most likely be there in the afterlife.
Yeah.
You would most likely. Well, sometimes it's the place you die, sometimes it's not.
Right. And Lexington, I mean, again, is it haunted? I'm going to say yes. I'm
also going to say yeah.
It just makes sense. And then if you add to that the fact that since that time, new homes have been added.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And that always seems, revamping their area always seems to stir up spirits. I know a guy that went to Wentworth, and his thing was that he didn't know a student that hadn't seen a ghost at one time or another. So
they really all went like fought.
But yeah, I mean, you've got those ghosts that are essentially, they were just filmed in the act of fighting, and that film is rebroadcast to the air on a nightly basis or semi-nightly or whatever. But there's also intelligent hauntings because we have EVPs that people have. And I mean, I heard some of them, and a lot of them are good ones where you can make out what they're saying as opposed to it being some sort of scratchy noise that they say is the ghost saying, get out. And you can't hear that until they say that, which once they say it, then it's locked in your brain. Oh, that is what they're saying, even though...
Like, sometimes you have to look away from the video and really focus on the, like, what you're hearing in your headphones.
Yeah.
But sometimes you can't even hear it then, and it's just like, this is being made up.
Right. So, once again, it's good to come home to our home state. I like doing these sorts of stories. The only thing I wish is I could have found more details on the hauntings. But
Right.
one thing I will say about living in Missouri is finding details on haunted places is not easy.
No.
For some reason, we don't want to jot it down.
A lot of the reason is because they're afraid that they will lose people from Missouri.
I don't think so. Just, there are a lot of people in this state that may see stuff and just aren't going to take the time to jot it down for whatever reason.
They just leave.
Well, and I should say, there was a time in this country, 50 years ago maybe, where if you openly said, I've seen a ghost, you were kind of mocked and ridiculed. And I mean, you still are, but not to the same extent. Like, people would shun people who had had encounters with ghosts. Like, obviously, Joe's crazy. He said he saw a ghost.
Or evil.
Yeah. So,
They're a witch or something.
Right.
And there are quite a few Puritan type folks here in the Midwest also. There's that to consider.
So that's part of it, but I wish the Warrens had come out, because then at least we'd have a movie and I could maybe take some of that. I will say, though, I do like that this episode kind of ties in to the episode we did on Union Cemetery, because that is full of the dead from the Battle of Westport, or was at one point. Mm-hmm. So, I'm sort of, it ties into that, and it sort of ties into the Fort Osage thing we did. So I dig that, like a lot of our local stuff is sort of tying together, and this was a piece of that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I just wish there was more information.
Yeah. Man, so if we do find any more information, there's always a time and there's always a place for us to, stick it in the book of what are we doing this month?
Yeah, well, that, and we're going to start recording some stuff for Patreon, and that would be a great Patreon episode, is just a follow-up if we find out more information on any of the stuff we've done so far. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Also, I sent off another email today to the people we're supposed to interview. Haven't heard back, but that will be coming up soon, and I can't wait. I really can't.
Exciting.
Yeah. So thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed it. Follow us on Twitter, plot_family for me, famplot mom Laura for Laura, and F. Crystalline for our dear Krysta here. You can also follow us on Instagram, Pinterest, and TikTok. There is show-themed content in all three places. Join our Facebook group. Since we did the episode on Sheila, we've picked up, we've picked up another 25, 30 people easy. And we have more joining every week. So that's awesome. Also,
join us for some craziness on the Facebook group.
Yeah. Also want to thank Bill Barrett, who does our theme music, and the only person to guess what we were doing this week. Like, he listens to this show. That is awesome. If you need music for anything, Bill is your guy. Just reach out to him, Bill Barrett, BEHRENDT at sbcglobal.net. He'll be happy to help you with whatever you need musically. Also, want to say thank you to Paige Elmore, Reverie True Crime. Paige did our logo art, and she's redone it with art that Krysta did. So Paige,
if you are listening, I don't know if you are or not, I will redo it on my phone, and I'll send it to Mom or Dad. They can check it over, and we will see what else we can do.
Cool. Also, thanks to Aaron Gnurk of the Big Dumb Fun Show, who does some local stuff. I also, there's a trigger warning here. I'm going to talk about a terminal patient. But I have to. I have a friend who lives in Canada, or as we used to say, Canada, back when he gamed with us. Now, you know what? I'm not going to say his name. I'm not going to say his name because he doesn't know I'm doing this. But
he knows who
he knows who he is. He was in the hospital getting treated for. He's had cancer for some time, and he was in the hospital getting treated. And the doctor basically was explaining what they were doing. And they said, if at any point you become uncomfortable, let us know. We will stop doing this and just treat you for pain. And in that meeting, he found out two things. One, he's not leaving the hospital. And two, he probably won't be here with us at Christmas. So I just wanted to let him know I've seen that. I've heard it. And I'm deeply sorry, my friend. If I could find a way to reach out to you to fix it somehow, I would. If just know you have my love. Anyway, so that being said, it's all out there. Join us next week as we discuss the Inanaki Tunnel. What's that? Join us next week and find out. Bye.
Bye.